your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call Wise Man Lawyers. Does your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call Wise Man Lawyers. Don't face that court alone. Let the Wise Man team get you back on the road. Does your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call the Wise Man team at Wise Man Lawyers.
All right, so I'm at Murgon Magistrates Court. It's probably about an hour's drive inland of Gympie. So I drove up from Brisbane last night, about 3-hour drive. Client was in serious trouble. Basically, she was charged with dangerous operation of a motor vehicle whilst adversely affected, meaning it was dangerous driving whilst drunk. She had a reading of .214. So over 4 times the limit. She was also charged with disqualified driving, meaning the court had previously disqualified her licence and she'd driven during that disqualification. Aggravating it though, she had previous drink driving charges. In summary, last year, 2019, she had a .243, and outside of the last 5 years, there was 2 others, a .214 and a .086. So this was her 4th alcohol-related driving offence, her 3rd high-range alcohol-related driving offence, and it was dangerous operation of a motor vehicle, meaning we're outside of traffic law. Dangerous operation is a criminal offence, so it's criminal code, so obviously serious ramifications. But the peril she was at, though, is it was mandatory imprisonment. The reason being, the relevant section says if you're charged with dangerous operation of a motor vehicle whilst adversely affected and you've got 2 previous prescribed offences, and if you go deeper into the Act, the prescribed offences are set out, one of those prescribed offences being drink driving, it's mandatory imprisonment. So she had, as I said, I think, 3 previous drink driving offences, so 3 previous prescribed offences, meaning 2 or more, which triggered the mandatory imprisonment. So it didn't matter what I said or did today, mandatory imprisonment was, as per the dictionary definition, mandatory. So it wasn't if there was going to be jail, it was how it was going to be packaged, and I'll get into that in a moment. Obviously, the licence disqualification was the least of her concerns. She was always going to be losing her licence for a long time, and my job was really nothing to do with the licence. It was all about doing my best to avoid actual imprisonment, meaning sitting in a jail cell. All right, so disqualification-wise, for the disqualified driving charge, it's a range of 2 to 5 years. For the dangerous operation while adversely affected, for a first offence, it's a minimum 6 months. There's no maximum. And, you know, obviously, if you've got previous, it affects the outcome. But again, loss of licence was not what I was here for. I was here to try to keep a client out of prison. With regard to prison, mandatory imprisonment, there's a number of ways someone can serve mandatory imprisonment. Obviously, there's, as I said, sitting in a jail cell, and going backwards in order of severity. The next step back from actually sitting in a jail cell is what's called immediate parole. So if you're given immediate parole, basically on paper you went to jail on the day of court, but you're also released from jail on the day of court and you're now on parole for however long the imprisonment period is. So for example, if you get 4 months imprisonment with immediate parole, basically, technically you've gone to jail as far as your history goes, but practically you didn't actually set foot in a jail cell, but you're now on parole for the next 4 months. And what parole is basically you need to report to probation parole as stipulated. You can't leave Queensland without their permission. If you change address, you've got to tell them within so many days. Like parole, it's, most people know what the what parole is, and it's basically reporting during your parole period. And if you breach parole by not reporting or not, complying with conditions, you could be brought back before the court and re-sentenced. The next option available to the magistrate going downwards in severity is what's called an intensive correction order. So it's effectively the same as immediate parole, but on your record it doesn't quite look as bad. So you're given a term of imprisonment that you serve in the community, but practically speaking it's the same as immediate parole. And then the other option is wholly suspended imprisonment, meaning you're given a term of imprisonment, but it's suspended or paused. It literally hangs over your head during the suspension period. So, for example, if you're given 4 months imprisonment, wholly suspended for 15 months, for example, you walk out of the courtroom, that's the end of it. If you can go 15 months without doing anything wrong, meaning not appearing before the court for other matters, the 4 months will evaporate. Whereas if you do appear before the court for other matters in that 15-month period, you can be sentenced to serve the 4 months. There are ways of avoiding that, but for the sake of this recording, it drops down and you serve it. So those were the only options available. There was no non-jail related option available. As I said, mandatory, it's a black and white term. It's not, you know, if the magistrate feels like it, it's mandatory. The magistrate must impose imprisonment. Preparing. Given the stakes were so high, I did more detail than I ordinarily do written submissions. There was about 20 cases that I addressed in these written submissions. Of some were on point, some weren't quite, but detailed written submissions that I could, you know, forcefully refer to if the magistrate or the prosecutor were adamant that my client served jail. Got her to do a reformatory course, same one we get all of our clients to do. Got her to get character references based on a template we provide all of our clients. Got her to go back to the mental health provider that she'd already been seeing, albeit haphazardly. So, I mean, without trying to be a cynic, a lot of people that appear before the court who up until, you know, they got in trouble, had no mental health issues, but suddenly, surprise, surprise, oh, you know, I've got all these unaddressed mental health issues. That wasn't the case. She had ongoing mental health issues that she'd been haphazardly getting addressed, and in recent times hadn't been on top of it. Being in a regional location, it's not easy to get appointments with GPs, let alone mental health providers. So she dropped the ball on her ongoing attendance, and if you know anyone who's got mental health issues, I mean, I'm ex-army, so I know plenty of guys and gals who, you know, suffer from the black dog, and it's like, you know, the fog rolls in and you just suffocate from it. So I guess, and once the fog's rolling on the hills, it's almost like a runaway train. And if your next appointment's 2 days away, and your bottle of rum's sitting there, I suppose, I'm not justifying it, you know, I'm not justifying dangerous driving or anything like that, but I'm talking about mental health and the fact that people do self-medicate, particularly when mental health help isn't easily accessible. Anyway, I'm going off point a bit, but that was a situation. She'd basically throughout her life had ongoing mental health issues. Through some periods she'd been on top of them, other times she hadn't, and on this occasion she had dropped the ball and wasn't on top of it. By the time she took steps to try and get that help, you know, it was days away before she could see anyone. Sat at home drinking her sorrows, spoke to a friend. Friend said, well, my GP is available, why don't you at least go and see my GP? And foolishly she drove, and obviously lost control of the vehicle to the extent where she satisfied the elements of dangerous operation, and here we are today. There was no collision, no other persons involved, so that was good. As I said, she did that online reformatory course, got help from a mental health provider, and brought a letter from that person, you know, attesting to that. Anyway, I had my work cut out for me. I had to speak at length and quite forcefully. Short version is I was able to persuade the magistrate to give the least serious of those options that I addressed earlier. So she was given wholly suspended imprisonment. So as I sort of alluded to earlier on with those examples, I was able to persuade the magistrate to give 4 months imprisonment, wholly suspended for 15 months. She got 2-year disqualification for disqualified driving, 10 months for dangerous driving, that's cumulative, but after you've served 2 years, you can apply to get your licence back if you've been behaving yourself. But A, she gets to go home. B, she doesn't have to do any ongoing reporting as she would have with parole or an intensive correction order. She's just got to behave herself, stay on top of her mental health for the next 15 months, and the problem will go away. She's needless to say, she's relieved. There was a very real chance that she was going to be doing some actual time. I'm Andrew Wiseman at Murgon Magistrates Court. Thanks for watching. Hi, I'm Andrew Wiseman from Wiseman Lawyers, Queensland's only truly dedicated drug, alcohol and traffic offence law firm. If you face loss of licence, loss of vehicle imprisonment or anything in between at any court in Queensland, we can and will help you today. This is our specialty. This is all we do. Give us a call, 1300 947 352. I look forward to helping you resolve your issue today.